Hello everybody, this is Callum from Grid Talk Global here, and today I'm going to discuss the 5 changes I would make to the Monaco Grand Prix. So, let's talk F1. So, Monaco is one of the most historic tracks on the F1 calendar grid, and it is the one that everyone dreams of winning. It's been on the grid since 1929 and has held 81 races since then. It is widely considered one of the most important and prestigious automobile races. Since it's been on the grid since 1929, that means it's been part of the F1 world for a whopping 95 years. That is a long time. That is almost a whole century it has been part of the F1 world. But as the cars seem to be getting bigger and bigger, even with the 2026 regulations, it is only being brought down to be a tiny bit smaller. We have seen Monaco become less and less entertaining over the years. This is not only for the viewers, but also the racers as well. With 2024, there was only a whopping 4 overtakes throughout the 78 laps. That is absolutely poor. Not only were viewers complaining about how boring the race was, so were the drivers as well. Max Verstappen even claimed during the race that he wished he brought a pillow due to how boring and unforgettable the race was. Cars were literally driving 3 to 4 seconds slower than the usual pace they should be driving at. Like, you would never see that on any other F1 track apart from the Monaco Grand Prix. This is because there was no fear of being overtaken. The only real threat of being overtaken was in the DRS detection point, but even then it's the shortest DRS detection point. In fact, none of the top 10 even changed at all. And it's the first time in F1 history that all of the top 10 remained in their same positions. The Monaco Grand Prix is at an all-time low with fans, and many fans questioning whether it should even be on the grid anymore. Now, let's be real. I know they're obviously making the cars a tiny bit smaller with the 2026 regulation changes, but they're never going to get properly small enough again to basically be able to have proper fights on the Monaco Grand Prix. So I'm here to give 5 different suggestions that could possibly help improve the Monaco Grand Prix to help bring back some entertainment value to it, and obviously making the attraction it once was. Now, my first suggestion is the suggestion that everyone is making, even drivers on the grid like Leclerc, Max Verstappen, Lando Norris, Lewis Hamilton, and that is a mandatory 2 or 3 pit stops during the race. Obviously, during 2024, Perez and the 2 Haas cars had a big crash, which led to a red flag, and everyone obviously pitted on lap 1, and after that there was no need to have a pit stop afterwards. Drivers were managing tyres from lap 1 to 78 on the hard, even the medium tyres, such as George Russell when he went from lap 1 to 78 on just the medium tyres. And because the mandatory pit stop was over on lap 1 because of the red flag, there was no need to pit anymore. This basically brought down any entertainment value that could be brought during the Monaco Grand Prix, which is the pit stop season. This is basically the only time that changes on the track could really be made. We saw that in 2022 with Leclerc, basically dropping from 1st to 4th due to how poor the Ferrari strategy were with the pit stops. But I think bringing in a mandatory 2 to 3 pit stops could actually bring in some entertainment to the race. Yes, this might not lead to overtaking necessarily on the track itself, but there will be a lot of strategic planning ahead of the race of when to actually do the pit stops, what tyres to do when, and if they have to do it definitely 2 to 3 times, this leads to a lot of planning and a lot more entertainment when it comes to how well the pit stops do. Obviously, this means Sauber will most likely be dead P20 and P19, but we forget about that. But yeah, that's my first suggestion. I think a mandatory 2 to 3 pit stops needs to be included at the Monaco Grand Prix. Now here we are at my green screen layout, and here is the Monaco Grand Prix track. Now, as you can see, there is only 1 DRS detection point, which is the shortest DRS detection point out of any Grand Prix track. This basically means it's impossible to overtake, especially with how big the cars are currently. This is my second suggestion of how to improve the Monaco Grand Prix, at least to make it a bit more entertaining. Just add one over here. Now, it's good to add a DRS detection point up here leading up to the Nivelle chicane. Maybe you can even smoothen out the Nivelle chicane just a bit, just so it's a bit longer, bit of a longer straight. But I think this is a good point to add a DRS detection point. If you smooth out the Nivelle chicane just a little bit instead of making it a very harsh corner, a bit more of a smoother corner, I think this could work really well and allow for a few more overtakes at the Monaco Grand Prix. This allows for at least 2 DRS points on the Monaco Grand Prix. Even if they are very short, at least this could allow some more overtaking opportunities instead of this really short one with this fiddly corner at Reassessing down here. So that is my second suggestion of how to improve the Monaco Grand Prix. Let's head back to the chair now, I think. Now, suggestion number 3 is an interesting one. I think this needs to happen, especially what happened in 2024. My third suggestion is that I don't think any hard tyres should be used at the Monaco Grand Prix. We basically saw at the 2024 Monaco Grand Prix that there was basically no tyre wear on any of the hard tyres. People were going from lap 1 to lap 78 on the exact same tyre. This is an issue that Pirelli needs to address, like, quite badly in my opinion. Tyres should not be going 78 laps without basically any wear on the tyres. And because of what happened, I would just not have hard tyres during the race at all. I mean, I would have soft and mediums, and when it comes to my 5th suggestion later, I would also have a new tyre incoming, but I'll talk about that a bit later in my 5th suggestion. But it's pretty simple. Hard tyre goes on for too long, people would literally just pit very early, maybe go on softs for like 10 laps and then just go on the hards for the rest of it. There's no need to pit after that because there's no tyre degradation at all. So yeah, my third suggestion is that there should not be any hard tyres anymore. This may be a bit controversial, but at least during the Monaco Grand Prix, I just think this is needed for the race. Now, as we know, Monaco has one of the shortest DRS sections in any F1 track. As you can see right here, that is the only DRS section of the entire track. Now, there is a massive issue as to why this is a problem. And it's not necessarily how long this bit is. It's the corner down here, the Larascas corner. The Larascas corner is one of the weirdest corners on any F1 track. I mean, instead of just being a simple curve round, it's really fiddly and basically sort of dips down and goes back up again, making it a really hard corner to navigate. And it's very slow as well. You basically have to come to a dead stop to go back round again. The issue with this is that with the shortest DRS track, no one can get enough traction going around the corner to basically be able to make the overtake on the DRS track. So my suggestion for this, and my suggestion number 4 of how to improve the Monaco Grand Prix, is to basically revert it back to the 1950s, as we can have a little bit of a change here. Here's the 1950s track, and if we have a little bit of a zoom in, please. As you can see down here, this is what the track used to look like, and it's a much better layout than what it is now. I mean, it's simply a massive curve, one curve going round. It cuts out the whole swimming pool and the Larascas chicane at the end. Basically, this means it's just much better for racing. You have one straight line going down, you have a nice smooth corner, and then back up again. This makes the DRS detection point much better to be placed right here and allows for probably 1 or 2 more overtakes, even if it is just that per race. And for my final suggestion, I'm actually going to bring back an old classic here. Bring back the super soft tyres for the Monaco Grand Prix. I think this would bring in so much entertainment value, especially during qualifying as well, where people can whack on the super soft and go for the fastest lap they possibly could. And I think along with the 2 to 3 mandatory pit stop, this could add a lot of entertainment again to the Monaco Grand Prix. You can have a super soft tyre, a soft tyre and a medium tyre. And if you have to do 3 different stops during the race, that could lead to 3 different tyres being introduced at different stages of the race. So yeah, I think Pirelli should bring back the super soft tyre. Well, in general, I believe anyway, I think it would be good for most races, but definitely at least for the Monaco Grand Prix. I think this is very much needed. So that is my final suggestion, but I've got a little bonus suggestion of what I think they should do with the Monaco Grand Prix. As you all just heard, I'm suggesting a bonus suggestion to the Monaco Grand Prix, and that is get rid of the track entirely. The reason why I say this is because there's currently 8 street circuits on the F1 calendar grid. I'll leave a list of all the street tracks here so you can see what I'm referring to. And there's going to be 9 in 2026 as well, with the introduction of the Madrid Grand Prix, replacing the Barcelona Grand Prix, which gets rid of one traditional F1 track and brings in another street circuit. And in my opinion, Monaco is the least entertaining street circuit. It may be the most prestigious, but with cars getting bigger and bigger, obviously, I know, like I said earlier, they're going to get a little bit smaller, but they're still way too big for 2026 anyway. And I'm just thinking there's not really much space for the Monaco Grand Prix anymore. Most other street circuits are a lot more entertaining and can at least provide some sort of overtaking opportunity, when Monaco doesn't really have that anymore. So yeah, my bonus suggestion is just get rid of the Monaco Grand Prix. Bring back a traditional circuit like Hockenheim, Malaysia or something that can add so much entertainment to the F1 calendar, and stop bringing in so many street circuits that people don't find that interesting anymore. So those are my 5 suggestions plus a bonus suggestion of what I think should happen to the Monaco Grand Prix. What do you guys think of my suggestions? Do you think these make sense? Do you think they should implement some of these? And what suggestions do you guys think should happen to the Monaco Grand Prix? Leave your thoughts down in the comments below. Make sure you also like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.